So sometime before the incident, you said you believed it was in summer of 2024, there was an incident at a hotel, is that correct?
That is correct.
And during that incident, you were able to observe Joey acting delusional, is that fair?
Yes.
And he was knocking on different hotel room doors and ultimately jumped over the front desk, is that right?
Yes.
And that odd behavior, that delusional behavior from Joey continued after the hotel, is that correct?
That's correct.
And in fact, Joey had gone to your grandmother's residence, is that right?
That is correct.
And you were aware of him acting delusional at that point in time as well.
Correct.
And in fact, after that incident at your grandmother's house, your family had some concerns about Joey's mental health, is that correct?
That is correct.
And after that, your mother actually would not allow him to come inside her home any longer, is that right?
That's right.
And this was within a short period of time frame from when Joey ultimately died, is that correct?
You have to adjust your microphone a little bit.
That is correct.
Around the time frame that these incidents are happening where you're witnessing Joey be delusional, he's also consuming methamphetamine on and off, is that right?
Yes.
And he has finally sought help through the VA, is that correct?
Yes.
You were aware of that?
Yes.
And were you in support of that?
Yes.
And some of Joey's closest friends were aware of that as well, is that right?
Correct.
One of the close friends that you and Joey would often spend time with was Jeffrey Hayes.
Yes.
Can we just have direct questions, not leading questions now?
All right, if that's an objection, it's sustained.
Was Jeffrey Hayes both of your friends?
Yes.
When did you meet Jeffrey?
I'd say like a month after I moved into Joey's.
So somewhere near the beginning of 2024?
Yes.
And were you with Joey when you met Jeff?
Met Jeff and he came over and then Joey met him that same day after work.
And is it fair to say that the three of you developed a pretty good friendship?
Yes, we were all close.
And how often would the three of you spend time together?
Every day.
Do you know when Joey first started seeking help through the VA?
He had told me about seeking help through the VA for his flat feet pain from the military. And then closer to the incident, he was seeking help for mental health and childhood trauma.
And as part of that help, you were aware that he was put on medications, is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
And as his fiance, would you ever help remind him about his medications?
All the time.
And were there times where you were aware that he was not taking his medications?
Yes, they were coming in the mail. And so when they didn't show up in the mail, me and Jeffrey Hayes went to the VA and got him for him while he was at work.
Were you aware of whether in the days leading up to the incident, if Joey was taking his medication?
No, he wasn't.
Do you know how many days that had been for?
I'd say at least 72 hours.
In the days leading up to the incident, are you regularly consuming meth?
Yes.
And are you aware if during the days leading up to the incident, Joey was regularly consuming meth?
Yes.
Was that something that the two of you were doing together at that time?
Yes, we were.
At the time of the incident, what was the custody status that you were aware of that Joey had with Kaysen?
He was supposed to see him every Wednesday and every other weekend.
Was that happening?
No, she had stopped all visits despite the court order.
Were you aware of there being any upcoming court hearing to address the custody issue?
Yes, we were getting ready for a custody hearing.
Do you recall when that hearing was supposed to take place?
I had bought an address already, so I figured it was within a week or two.
Now, Samantha, I want to talk about July 18th of 2024, okay?
Okay.
I want you to start by walking us through what you recall taking place that day.
I remember Joey being at work. He hadn't slept the night before. He had been up all night and went to work anyways. Our friend John, Joey called Johnny Boy, was over at our apartment. He was from Wisconsin Rapids. He was over waiting for Joey to get done with work so that he could talk to him about these speakers or speaker amp that John wanted to buy from Joey. And we had gone to the gas station,
We being who?
me and John.
Okay.
And when we returned, Joey was home finally.
Do you have any idea as to what time that might have been around?
No,
Are we talking morning time, afternoon?
I would say late afternoon, early evening.
Okay, so you and your friend John get to the residence and Joey's there, is that right?
That is correct.
What happens next?
We consumed some methamphetamine.
Who was consuming meth?
Me, John, and Joey.
And what happens after that?
Joey was starting to get really irritable because he wanted more. John had left at that point, and Joey went into the bedroom. I remember our friend that usually stopped by, so it wasn't a weird occurrence. His name was Chong. He stopped by, and Joey was repeatedly asking him if he could purchase some more meth from him.
So at this point in time, now your friend John has left and it's you, Joey, and Chong at the apartment.
Correct.
If you know or have an idea about what time is it at this point.
I think it's around supper time.
And at this point in time, or do you recall when you would have first spoken to John Pfeffer on that day?
I had talked to John earlier that day.
And at this point in time, John Pfeffer is a friend of yours, is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Was he also a friend of Joey's?
Yes.
The three of you would often hang out together, is that right?
Yes.
Was that primarily to use drugs?
Yes.
So you spoke to John Pfeffer earlier in the day on July 18th, is that correct?
That is correct.
And at that point in time, what are you talking to him for?
We made plans for him and this girl he was picking up, I think around Hancock, he said. He said he on again, off again had dated her, and I said I didn't want to meet anybody new. And he insisted that I meet her, that she's a good person. And I said, okay, bring her over. We could play some cards.
So now let's fast forward to this time where it's you, Joey, and Chong. Tell us what happens.
So I think Joey was on the phone with his uncle, or I'm not sure if he purchased some meth before he got on the phone with his uncle, or if he talked to his uncle and then purchased the meth. I'm not sure how that went. But he started in on texting me weird things.
So you are both in the apartment? Mm-hmm. Yes?
And he secludes himself in the bedroom.
And just a reminder, Samantha, you have to say yes, not mm-hmm, okay?
Oh, yes.
So, and I'm sorry, so Joey's in the bedroom?
Yes. He gets really paranoid when he gets high. So he automatically thinks that people are trying to set him up.
And so if Joey's in the bedroom, where are you?
I'm in the living room telling Chong that he probably should leave.
And did he leave?
Yes, he did.
So at that point in time, it's just you and Joey at the apartment?
Yes.
Do you have an idea as to what time it might be about now?
It's getting to be dark.
Did you have an idea as to what time John Pfeffer might be showing up at your apartment?
He said he was going to come over, but he always takes the scenic route,
So he's always a bit later than expected.
always.
So on this evening now, Joey is texting you from inside of the bedroom. What happens next?
Basically, he was texting me that he wanted me to split, I think, he kept saying a bowl and split, and I was confused by that. So I asked him what he meant. He wanted some of my prescription Suboxone, and he would often, if I didn't give it to him, he would just steal it from me anyways. So
Where did you keep your prescriptions?
under my side of the bed,
So in the bedroom that Joey was in.
yes.
And so you're still in the living room, is that right?
Yes,
And fair to say you don't know what Joey was doing inside of the bedroom,
no,
besides texting you some things.
yes.
Tell us what happens next.
So he comes out of the bedroom and he's obviously high. He's really super hyper at this point. And he was saying how he's gonna go to the bar to meet Ba, which I think he says when he's actually gonna go receive Ba's pee so that he can pass a UA. And then he was gonna go do something and give his Uncle John a ride.
Did you want him to meet up with his uncle?
I told him that I thought it was a bad idea that he leaves the apartment with the state he was in.
And what is your main concern at this point in time?
The hearing coming up for custody.
So you were concerned about Joey maybe losing custody if he did something stupid.
Yes.
Do you tell that to Joey?
Yes.
And then what happens after that?
John calls and he tells him that he's not going to meet up with him.
And we've got a lot of Johns involved here. So when you say John calls,
John Carnot,
and that would be his uncle.
his uncle.
Okay, and just so we're all clear, so John the uncle calls and Joey says he's not going to meet up with him.
That's correct.
Okay, so what happens next?
So I was in the bathroom and Joey burst in and kind of like startled me, pushed me back a little bit, and I was always knocking over this waist-high shelf. I just put it in a bad spot. And he was saying things like accusing me of using without him and that he thought I had drugs stashed somewhere in the bathroom. And I was like, that's not true. You're the one that has the drugs right now, you know? And he's like, well, I have to use the bathroom. So I was proceeding to leave the bathroom. And I was like, wait, I need to grab my phone. And he already had slammed the door and my hand kind of caught in between the door and the door frame. It wasn't on purpose or anything, but
Okay, so do you ultimately retrieve your phone?
yes.
And what do you do next?
After I hear Joey start talking about his mom, which he usually brings up, this angel person that doesn't exist that I know about or have heard anything about. He is convinced that his mother has slept with this angel person and that is his real father, and he's really upset and emotional over the fact that his real dad isn't his real dad, and he goes into like this cycle.
So fair to say you were starting to observe behavior that you have observed in the past.
Yes,
And this would be the type of delusional behavior you would witness.
yes,
And fair to say you would witness this when Joey was high.
yes.
Would this type of behavior be more common when Joey was not on his prescriptions?
Yes.
So you start noticing this behavior, it's becoming obvious. What do you do next?
I go out in the living room and I sit on the couch. I try and call John Pfeffer, about 4 times because I know he's on his way over. And I'm obviously not going to invite people over if Joey's acting this way. It's not going to end well. So I try calling him. I probably called him like 3 or 4 times.
Did you ever connect with him?
No, he never answered the phone.
And let me just ask you, Samantha, Joey's acted like this in the past, is that correct?
Yes,
Were there times where he would start acting like this and you would decide to leave the apartment?
often.
And did you make that decision to do so that night?
Yeah, that's why I was trying to get a hold. Yes, that was why I was trying to get a hold of John Pfeiffer, because I was going to have him just pick me up instead of them come in.
So we know that you aren't able to get in touch with John Pfeffer at that point in time. What happens?
Joey carries on. I told him he should go in the kitchen and have some pizza, thinking maybe it would sober him up a little bit. He's continuing to talk about how he's going to lose this job. He talks a little bit about his childhood trauma that he had, and his fear of how the same trauma was being repeated to his son by his mother of his son's boyfriend. And so I was like, after I heard these same loops that he starts to go into, I know he's just going to get more agitated and more crazy. So I told him, Joey, I'm too tired for this today. I'm leaving. I'm going to go over to Jeff's. You can meet me over there if you decide that you're going to calm down, because I'm not dealing with this tonight. I've dealt with this over and over, and these psychosis or manics, whatever episodes that he would have, would last anywhere from 12 hours to 72 hours. And I was just at the point where I just separated myself from him at that point. I didn't know how to calm him down.
So at that point in time, Samantha, were you able to leave?
No, I was actually putting on my sandals when he threw something across the living room at me.
So you're in the living room at this point, right?
Yes.
Okay, where in the living room are you?
I'm sitting farthest on the couch, closest to the lamp, facing like where the TV would be.
And would that be farthest from the kitchen area?
Yes.
And where's Joey?
Joey's in the kitchen.
Okay, so you're putting on your shoes. Tell us what happens.
Joey told me that if I leave, that he's gonna kill himself. And after he threw the knife sheath, I was like determined to leave. But when I was gonna leave, he turned around and came into where I could see, because the kitchen is like half wall. He came into view and he was holding his side and he had blood between his fingers.
At that point in time, what do you do?
I'm like, oh my God, Joey, what did you do? And he's running towards the door at this point and then running back towards the sink. I didn't know if he was confused, if he wanted to run out to his car or rinse it off. I didn't know what kind of damage at this point. So I tell him to lay down, and he lays down with his head towards the sink, his feet towards the door, and I grab as much paper towel from underneath the sink and I start holding it on where I see is a cut.
And let's talk about that, Samantha. At that point in time, Joey's wearing a shirt, is that correct?
A blue shirt, yes.
What actually are you able to observe?
Just blood on the shirt,
Was it a lot of blood?
yes,
Did it appear to be gushing out of him?
yes,
And you have him on the ground, is that right?
yes.
Are you actually able to observe the wound itself?
I actually didn't observe the wound yet, because right when I had him down and was holding pressure on it is when my door buzzer rang.
So you get Joey down on the ground and you're holding pressure. Your door buzzer goes off. Mm-hmm. Yes? Why don't you call 911 at that point?
because John had gotten there, and I thought that when he buzzed the buzzer that he would be able to get him to the hospital faster.
Did you have your phone on your person?
No,
Did you know where it was at that point?
I think it was still in the living room.
And in order to buzz John into the apartment, what did you have to do?
I just have to hit a button by the door. So I hit the button and I opened the door and I went back to Joey.
Did you hold open the door and wait for John to get in?
No.
So you go right back to Joey?
Yes.
At that point in time, you said you saw a lot of blood. Is that fair?
Yes.
Are you concerned about his wound at that point?
Yes.
So why are you not calling 911 still?
John had came into the apartment and said, "Oh my God, Sam," on the recording. We all heard. He said that he should call the ambulance, and I told him to go ahead.
Now, I want to talk about this recording, Samantha. We've all heard it. Do you have any independent recollection as to what was specifically stated between you, John, and Christy that night?
My recollection was I was trying to keep Joey calm. So I was trying to speak to him in a very calming voice. John didn't know what had happened. And I was just trying to kind of see, like, in the hole of the shirt, like, how bad it was. I couldn't tell at that time how bad it was because all I could see was the outer. And I remember Christy getting down and saying, "I'll help, I'm a nurse." And so she started these extreme rubs that you would see on somebody doing to like a heroin overdose. And I was like, wait a minute, don't do that. You're probably gonna like hurt his cut more at that point. And I just remember John saying, "Is there drugs in the house?" And me having this realization, yes, there's drugs in the house. And he's like, "You need to get them out. You need to leave." And I just remember rushing as fast as I could into the bedroom and grabbing the drugs. And John was on his phone, John Pfeiffer. And I thought he was on the phone with the ambulance. And so I ran out of the house because he kept yelling at me, "You need to leave before we all get in trouble."
So let's break that down a little bit, Samantha. You said that you were trying to keep Joey calm. Is that right?
Yes.
When you go to buzz John Pfeffer into the apartment, is Joey still awake?
Yes.
Is he still breathing?
Yes.
Was he talking to you at all?
No.
But you can see that he's still alive.
Yes.
And at that point, do you have any concern that this is a life or death situation?
No.
And what are you thinking at that point in time?
I'm thinking that the ambulance is going to show up and he's going to get stitched up and be in the hospital probably for a little while.
So when John first walks into the apartment, he says something, and you recall telling, or when John walks into the apartment, do you recall him saying he should call 911?
Yes.
And you told him to go ahead?
I said, "Go ahead."
And around that same time, Christy is doing something, correct?
Yes.
And at that point in time, are you still over Joey?
She had taken over the compressions.
Before she does, are you over Joey?
Yes.
And so when she goes to take over, you kind of tell her, "Hold on a minute, it's right here."
Yes.
Do you recall saying that you didn't believe it went through an organ?
From what I saw.
And so that's what you would have reported to Christy or to John?
I think both.
Now, you said that's when you hear John ask you about the drugs being in the apartment, is that right?
Yes.
When you remember that there's drugs in the apartment, what are you concerned about?
Joey losing his son, all of us being on probation, the cops coming into the apartment,
A lot of different things, fair to say.
a lot of different things, yes.
Now, you said your intention was to continue to keep Joey calm.
Yes.
And when you left the apartment, Joey was still breathing.
Yes, he seemed like he fainted, is what I thought. I'm not a nurse.
And at this point in time, are you aware of everything that Joey might have consumed as far as substances that night?
I know for sure he had Adderall in his system. I don't know how much. He always took more than he was supposed to. Meth, probably Suboxone.
But you weren't sure about that, is that correct?
Yeah, I wasn't.
You just had a concern that he may have.
Yes.
And when you've witnessed Joey take your Suboxone in the past, what really happens to him?
When Joey takes my Suboxone, he nods out like somebody would on an opiate.
Now, Samantha, the one other statement that we've heard a lot about is a statement of somebody on that recording stating, "What do we tell the cops that he just fell on a knife?" And those might not be the exact words, but do you recall hearing that?
I recall hearing that, yes.
Do you personally recall stating that on that night?
No,
If that was you that stated that, why do you think you would have said something like that?
because the last thing I wanted to do is make Joey think that I was going to get him in any trouble, like where he get locked up,
What,
like in a mental facility.
so you had concerns that if you had reported what happened, Joey might have some type of consequence for it.
Yes, but then I changed what I said, and I told John Pfeffer to tell the police that he did stab himself.
And would you have said that right before you left, or when did you say that?
Yes, right before I left.
Now, before you leave the apartment, are you having any type of conversation with John Pfeffer where you are asking him to do anything for you?
No,
Did you know at that point in time that John Pfeffer was going to report to police that you had not been at the apartment?
no,
Was it ever your intention for him to do so?
no.
What was your intention by leaving the apartment that night?
My intentions were to get the drugs out of the house and then to call John's phone and meet Joey at the hospital.
Why did you think that Joey would be going to the hospital?
Because JP, should I just call him that? Is that okay?
That would be okay. So if you say JP, you are referring to John Pfeffer?
John Pfeffer.
Okay.
Because JP said that he was calling the ambulance.
And I just want to make sure that I heard you right. When you leave the apartment, you had seen JP on the phone with somebody.
Yes,
Did you know who he was on the phone with?
he told me the ambulance.
And that's what you believed?
Yeah, I trusted him.
Now, when you leave the apartment, where do you decide to go?
To Jeff's.
Why did you make that decision?
Because Jeff has been an advocate for Joey's mental health ever since they met, because they're both military.
Fair to say that you thought Jeff might understand what was happening?
Yes,
Did you go there with the intent to have Jeff cover anything up for you?
no,
Did you ever ask Jeff to cover anything up for you?
no,
When you first get to Jeff's house or when you're going there, did you have any intention of staying there?
no.
What was your plan for that night?
That I was going to go meet Joey at the hospital.
Now, at some point after you leave the apartment, do you recall calling Joey?
Yes,
Now, if Joey was passed out on the floor, why did you call him?
I called his phone because I figured either JP or Christy would answer.
And did they?
No, nobody answered.
After you leave the apartment, you make other phone calls, is that correct?
I called Jeff,
Why did you call Jeff?
so that I wasn't like disturbing him because I was coming over abruptly.
And was it common that you would do that?
Yes,
Would it be common that you would let Jeff know that?
yes,
Now, Do you recall arriving at Jeff's place?
Yes.
Can you tell us what you did when you got there?
I told him that I had to tell him some pretty intense news, that we should talk inside, and then I don't remember what he said to me, but we walked inside.
So when you're outside of the apartment, are you sharing anything about what happened that night?
I might have told him that it was serious, it had to do with Joey.
But you had asked to go inside.
Yes.
And at some point when you are inside, do you make other phone calls?
Yes, I called JP
And why did you call JP?
because I wanted to see if Joey was on his way to the hospital.
And did you make a connection with JP?
Yes, he answered his phone.
And what did you learn during that phone call?
He told me that the police were at my house, the fire truck, the ambulance, the police officers were all there. He told me that he had told them that I was at my friend's house or on my way to my friend's house, that I hadn't been there.
Prior to talking with JP and him telling you that, did you have any idea that he was going to report that you were not there that night?
No.
At that point in time, are you also learning, or is there anything else you learned at that point in time?
No, he had to let me go because he said he was busy talking to the police officers.
So when JP tells you then that the police and the fire individuals are there, why do you not go back to the apartment?
I was waiting to see Joey at the hospital because JP told me that I would be the #1 suspect.
So at that point in time, you have some concerns,
I was terrified.
and you still believe that Joey's going to be at the hospital.
Yes.
Do you make any further phone calls after that?
Yeah, I called JP's phone again in a little while
What was the point of that phone call?
to see what was going on because I had no idea his state, what had happened.
And during that phone call, are you talking just to JP?
No, he hands his phone to Officer Felmer.
Did you know that it was Officer Felmer at the time?
He had stated his name, yes.
And we've heard that phone call. Do you recall hearing it?
Yes.
Do you recall the statements you made during it?
Yes.
During that phone call, you tell the officer that you weren't there that night, is that right?
That is true.
You tell him that you had actually left much earlier in the evening.
Yes, I made that up.
So you were lying to the police at that point.
Yes, I was.
Why?
I was following JP's lead because he had already told the officers.
And you learned that during that first phone call with him, right?
Yes.
You also, we've heard during that phone call that you are questioning the officer as to what kind of state Joey is in, is that right?
Yes.
And you asked the officer whether he had taken something.
Yes, I was referring to my Suboxone.
Why did you ask that, though, if you knew that Joey had stabbed himself?
I wanted to let them know without telling them, kind of like asking a rhetorical question, pretty much.
So is it fair to say that you had a concern about what he had taken?
Yeah, I know that Suboxone is an opiate blocker, so if they were trying to give him anything for the pain, it wouldn't have worked. If they were trying to keep him awake, that it would be harder because he would be on the opiate blocker.
Now, Samantha, do you remember hearing that call and there's a point in time where you audibly gasp?
Yeah, I was confused on what the officer had said. He said that I listened to it again, and he said that he had collapsed. But at the time of the phone call, I had 4 people in the background talking to me about everything going on, and I thought he said his lung collapsed.
So when you gasped, that's because you heard the officer say that Joey's lung collapsed.
Yeah,
And if that had happened, that would have been news to you,
yeah,
and it would have caused you some concern.
yes,
Now, we also hear you say in that phone call, or you ask the officer in that phone call if you should meet at the hospital.
yes.
And why are you asking him that?
So I could find out where Joey was.
Did you learn in that phone call what Joey's true state was at that point in time?
He wouldn't let me know, no.
Did you have any idea that Joey was facing a life and death situation at that point in time?
No.
At any point that night, Samantha, did you learn that Joey had passed?
No, we just kept calling all the hospitals.
So you were trying to find Joey.
Yeah, I had Chuck and Chris Putnam helping me.
And at any point in time, were you trying to find out more information from JP?
I think I might have called his phone, but no answer.
So after that phone call where you're passed over to the officer, did you have any further contact with JP that night?
No.
When was the next time that you saw him, if you recall?
He showed up at Jeff's house
When was that?
the next day.
We've seen as part of an exhibit, Samantha, a text conversation that you had with somebody named Peyton.
Yes.
Who is Peyton?
Peyton would be Joseph's cousin.
And in that conversation, are you telling Peyton the truth?
No.
Do you recall what you told him?
Something about a cut and Joey's state of mania and the cops being there.
You recall telling Peyton that Joey had been manic?
Yeah.
Do you recall telling Peyton that you had left because of that?
Yes.
And that you were told that he had cut himself? Does that sound right?
Yes, but that's not true.
So why did you tell Peyton those things?
I was under the influence, first of all, and second of all, I was following JP's lead on the lie that I wasn't there.
At that point in time, so going back to you get off the phone with Officer Felmer,
Yes.
what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I'm just going to wait by my phone and either JP will get a hold of me and let me know or Joey will call me.
So you still think Joey's going to be okay? You're still trying to look out for him?
Yes.
Your main concern at that point in time is Joey's custody situation. Is that fair?
Yes. I just knew that if he lost his son, it would ruin him.
And is it fair to say that a secondary concern was your probationary status?
Definitely.
Were you concerned about having to report any type of police contact with your agent?
I was, yeah, that and having a dirty UA, yeah.
Was it your belief that if you reported police contact with your agent, you'd have to meet with her?
Yes.
And if you met with her, what did you think would happen?
Well, typically, if they don't know about a scenario, they have in the past put you on a hold while they investigate.
Were you also concerned that you would have to give a UA
Yes,
and that would have tested positive,
yes,
which would have gotten you into trouble? Is that fair?
yes,
At that point, you'd also then have to report about drugs being in your apartment. Is that right?
that's correct.
And part of your concern there was the impact that would have on Joey.
Yes,
Now, I want to be very clear. When you go to Jeff's apartment that night, are you asking anybody to help you?
no,
Specifically asking anybody to help you with covering anything up?
no. I might have mentioned that JP had, led me to lie to the police.
So you might have mentioned that JP had told the officers that you weren't there that night,
Correct.
and you had decided to go with that story.
Yes,
As of that time frame, so not thinking now, but thinking back in July of 2024, did you think that JP was a person that you could trust?
Yes.
Now, would you have trusted him?
No.
At some point the night of this incident, you're at Jeff's house, you're under the influence, is that fair to say?
That's correct.
Are you using any substances while you're at Jeff's house that night?
Yes.
Do you eventually go to sleep?
Yes.
And let's talk about the next morning, so the morning of July 19th.
Okay.
At some point, you wake up, is that fair?
Yes.
Do you know at that point in time what happened to Joey?
No.
Do you try to communicate with Joey?
Yes.
What did you do?
I wrote him some message asking if he was okay, if he went to work, if he's out of the hospital. I didn't know if he just got stitched up and he was sent home. I didn't know where he was.
Was that message that you sent to Joey supposed to be deceitful in any way?
Yes.
How so?
I knew what had happened, but I was making it look like I hadn't known.
But to be clear, you didn't know at that point, or did you, if Joey had passed?
No, I did not know.
And tell me when you found that out.
So JP and Christy knocked on Jeff Hayes' door, and they came in and he told me that they had been in the investigators, being investigated all night long, and they were told that Joy didn't make it. I'm sorry.
Take your time.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
It's okay. So the first time you heard about Joey's passing was through JP.
Yes.
When JP came over to Jeff's that next morning, Samantha, was he looking for anything?
Yeah, he asked me for some meth right away.
And did he ask you for anything else?
He made me feel guilty that the investigators had taken both their phones. So at that point, I didn't really care. I was like, take mine. You can use it till you get yours back.
So when you gave your phone to JP, did you do that with any deceitful intention?
No,
That was more so because he didn't have a phone any longer.
that is correct.
Did you think that you would never see your phone after that date and time?
No,
Before giving your phone to JP, did you delete anything off of it?
no.
Would there even have been anything that you would have been concerned about on your phone?
Oh yeah. I didn't want JP to see inappropriate videos of me and Joey, like sexually.
And was there any content on your phone relating to drug use?
Yes,
But again, prior to you turning that phone over to JP, you didn't do anything to it.
no,
And just to be clear, you said it was your belief that you were going to get that phone back.
yes. When he got his back, he was gonna give mine back.
Very clear, Samantha, at any point, did you ask JP to delete anything from your phone?
No, never.
Did you know when you gave him your phone that he was going to do anything like that to it?
No.
When did you first learn that he had done anything with your phone?
He messaged me on Jeff's phone and said that he wiped it. Because that was his way of getting into his cloud. He had a factory reset it or something like that.
Did you have any concerns about him having done that?
Yes, I didn't have any of my contacts.
Did you express that to him?
Yes, I messaged him and said that I needed my contacts, and he said that he had saved all my stuff into the cloud.
And at some point, do you find out or do you believe that JP had destroyed your phone?
Yeah, he messaged me that he destroyed it. I didn't know how.
We've seen at least one other message, Samantha, where you're using Jeff Hayes' Facebook account, I believe it was, and you're telling a Caitlin that your phone was run over or damaged. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do recall that.
Why are you telling people that your phone was damaged if it was JP that had it?
Well, he said he had destroyed it. I basically was just giving her some lie so that I didn't have to go into the whole explanation of like what had happened and why JP had my phone and why he would wipe it. And she's nosy, so I just didn't want to tell her all my business.
So fair to say you're just bypassing the explanation of why you'd be using Jeff's account?
Yeah. Yes, sorry.
Now, we know that you're at Jeff's apartment on the 19th and that you're still there when you're ultimately apprehended on July 22nd. Is that right?
That is correct.
Had you stayed at Jeff's that entire time?
Yes.
Had you left at all?
I went to the gas station.
So you're at Jeff's house. What's your plan?
My plan is to go have my friend Missy Kane drive me to Wisconsin Rapids to see my probation officer and give her my side of the story.
So when were you going to do that?
Monday when she was in the office.
And we know that you're apprehended on Monday, is that correct?
Yes,
And you're apprehended once you're walking outside, is that correct?
that is correct.
Where were you going at that time?
I was walking out to Missy's van.
And what were you going to do?
I was going to tell her to come in while I got ready to go
To go where?
to Wisconsin Rapids, to my probation office.
Now, we saw a couple of photographs of yourself when you were, prior to photographs having been taken of you. Do you recall those?
Say that again?
We saw some photographs of you prior to when some invasive type photographs were taken of you.
Yes,
And were you able to observe the photographs where you had phone numbers on your arms?
yes,
Were those phone numbers already on your arms prior to you being apprehended?
yes.
Why were they on your arms?
I was preparing to go to jail.
After you had talked to your agent, is that right?
Yeah, I figured she'd put me on a hold because of my drug use and so that they could investigate and make sure of my innocence.
Did you still have some concerns at that time about having a dirty UA?
Yes, slight.
We know that you had at least used on July 18th going into the 19th, is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, when you are at Jeff's apartment, are you doing anything in preparation for this meeting with your agent?
Yeah, yes, I wrote down to my recollection the events from the night before so that I could have an accurate description so that I could tell her what really happened.
Why did you feel the need to write that down?
I think my guess would be so that I didn't forget anything.
Were you trying to write it down in a fabrication of anything?
No,
Did you have any deceitful purpose behind writing your statement down?
no,
It was essentially your intention to provide that to your agent, is that correct?
that is correct.
And as part of being on probation, is it normal for you to give statements like that to your agent?
Yes, yes,
It's normal?
yes, it's normal.
We've heard and seen a lot about what people believe your demeanor to have been like in the days after this incident, Samantha. So when you're at Jeff's apartment, tell us for yourself what you were feeling in those couple of days.
In terms of relevance.
All right, well, the court's going to overrule it. We've covered on other witnesses, her actions afterwards and her state of mind, so we'll let her supply her version.
I felt numb, disconnected, depressed, and just was going through the motions.
Now, Samantha, when you first get to Jeff's that evening, are you bringing anything there with you?
I think I had a bag, my phone, the drugs, my cigarettes, a vape.
What about clothing items?
No.
It's true that when you're at Jeff's, you do change your clothes, is that correct?
Yes, I had really short pink shorts on, and I was surrounded by men, so he gave me some longer to feel more comfortable in.
And eventually your top changes too, is that correct?
Yeah, he gave me a big T-shirt so I could sleep in it.
Do you know what happened to the clothes that you were wearing when you got there?
To my recollection, they went in the dirty clothes hamper.
And is that the last that you would have seen them?
Yes.
As far as these sandals that we have seen, are those the sandals you wore when you arrived at Jeff's place?
The pink Nike ones?
Yes.
Yes.
And is that, for the most part, if you recall, what you continued wearing for footwear?
Yes.
Now, Samantha, I want to move to some of these calls that we've heard that you made post to this incident. One of the phone calls that we heard was a call between you and your mother. Do you recall that?
Can you be more specific?
Yes, a call where you are telling your mother that you weren't there that night.
Yes, I recall.
When you made that phone call, did you know that it was being recorded?
Yes, I did.
And is it true that this phone call was made after there was a hearing in this matter?
Yes, it was after.
And it was after that you would have had an opportunity to hear some of what was being said in the case. Is that fair?
That's correct.
So why, Samantha, did you tell your mom during that recorded call that you weren't there that night?
She was saying indefinite that I was there, and I was trying to defer her from saying that because my original statement was that I wasn't there.
And did you have any concerns about really just in general talking to your mom about what happened?
Did I have any concerns? Was the
Yes.
question? Yes.
We heard another phone call between you and your mom talking about these decals that would have been on the back of your Dodge Journey. Do you recall that call?
Yes, I do.
At the time that that call was made, were you aware that it was being recorded?
Yes, I knew.
In that call, did you ever state that you weren't at the scene that night?
I think I did.
You don't remember, is that fair?
That's fair.
Do you recall telling your mother that there were no decals on your car?
Yes, that was a lie.
Why did you tell your mom that?
Because Jeffrey had removed them.
And at that point in time, this call was in November of 2024, is that right?
That is correct.
And by that point in time, had you learned that Jeff had done that?
Yes.
Did you ever ask Jeff to do that for you?
No.
Did you ever ask Jeff to cover anything up for you?
No, he said that he needed to move my vehicle out of his spot into a visitor's spot. Then I gave him my keys.
And is that the most that you knew about the vehicle?
Yes.
We've heard a lot, Samantha, about how your vehicle had no license plate. Do you recall that?
I went to the DMV and they gave me temporary plates that you put on the inside upper window.
And as far as you know, those temporary plates were in your vehicle that evening?
Yes.
Do you know what happened to them?
No.
Did you do anything to them?
No.
And you had normal plates on the way?
Yes.
All right, Samantha, I just have a couple more questions for you. On the night of July 18th of 2024, did you kill Joey Carnot?
No.
On the evening of July 18th of 2024, did you stab Joey?
No.
I don't have any further questions, thank you.